Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be covering how you guys can use AI and automation in your Shopify and e-commerce stores. So this isn't going to be like an exact step-by-step guide, but I'm going to be covering one method that I think you guys can learn to implement if you do run an e-commerce store, and that's going to be where you do abandoned cart kind of workflows. So what happens is you'll see shortly, but when a cart is created in Shopify, this n8n flow will wait 2 hours, and then after that 2 hours, I think it's 1 hour. After that happens, then a variety of like SMSs and emails is sent with kind of AI generated messages that are using a bunch of variables from the customer. So it sounds like it's well researched, and it also is going to kind of spark some dopamine and make them kind of remind them to fulfill their cart. And this is really important, as I think about 15% of these kind of abandoned cart messages actually do help and actually get the sale, because a lot of the time people just forget to purchase their carts, or they might like be doing something else, and then they get like an email or an SMS. It sends multiple as well. So yeah, this is a really good way to kind of restore lost profit. And this is one way that you can use AI in Shopify and e-commerce. So there's plenty of other ways that I'll speak about in other videos, but I just want to kind of bring some light to how you can do it in e-commerce. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so this is a kind of rough flow. It's not fully filled out, but this video, as I said, is kind of aimed at just showing you the possibilities of AI and automation with e-commerce and Shopify. So this is kind of a rough idea of what something like this would look like, but this is a abandoned cart recovery sort of agent. And why this is so crucial is it's found that 70% of e-commerce and Shopify carts get abandoned, so no one actually ends up fulfilling the cart. So items are left in the cart and no one actually buys it for a multitude of reasons. They might just go, you know what, maybe I don't want to buy this, or maybe they even forget, or all these different things that kind of accumulate to abandoned cart. So this is kind of a last effort to reclaim this, and it's found that this actually works to 10 to 15% of the time to abandon carts if done correctly. So how this kind of works is you want to start with a Shopify trigger. So this is going to be a checkout created. Again, I don't have a Shopify account, so this isn't actually complete with all the correct variables, but this is again showcasing how this would actually work. Then you want to wait an hour. You can wait as long as you want. So this is kind of key for, you kind of want to guess what time they would have actually abandoned it. So I think an hour is safe. Some people say 15 to 20 minutes is the best, because they're kind of still kind of active or on their computer, but they have actually abandoned it. But I think an hour is like a safe way to definitely know that they've abandoned it. I think 15 to 10 minutes, they might still be looking around or filling in like their payment details, stuff like that. So yeah, it's all kind of in the eye of what you're trying to do, your kind of business and stuff like that. This is then just going to kind of expand on the order, so it's going to get more information. The key information you're going to get, this is the kind of URL you would need. Obviously, you'll put your domain there, and then the rest of this should be the same. And then you'll use these query parameters. You'll get the email from the trigger, and you'll also get when the cart was created as well in the trigger. So you'll get both these variables from the first thing. But yeah, I don't have a Shopify account to actually test this with, so I'm kind of just giving you a base of it. And then obviously you'll need your credentials there. And the main reason you need this is to actually expand on it and see if the order status is actually paid. So this is where we figure out if the cart that was created was actually paid for or not. So if the order status, that's a fake variable, could be, I'm not sure what it'd actually be. You'll obviously find out when you're making it with your own Shopify account. But if it's not equal to paid or whatever it says, then it's the false row here means it actually was paid. So that means obviously you're not going to be sending checkout, you're not going to be sending abandoned AI emails and stuff to a customer that's actually bought it. So you just want to add them as a paid customer into your CRM. So this can be go high level, Google Sheets, anything like that. You just want to update this, and this is going to be coming real handy because what you can do with a CRM full of people who have previously bought from you with variables like what they bought, how much they bought, are they high ticket buyers, are they low ticket, when did they buy it, when did they last buy, all these different variables are super important. If you can put these into a CRM, you can then do what is like a kind of AI product recommender, where you kind of, once every month or, any kind of time schedule, you can send, follow-ups with product recommendations that AI has kind of used those variables to kind of come up with. So let's say they last bought like a soccer t-shirt, they might get an AI email for like the next season's kit. Things like this are really important because it's kind of giving a kind of research and accurate sales sort of email or WhatsApp message that is going to be more likely to convert. So you want to have all these kind of variables stored in. This is going to be for another kind of video where I go into the kind of follow-up emails on previous buyers, but for this is just abandoned carts. But yeah, this is kind of just showing you the kind of possibilities AI and automation has in e-commerce. So yeah, you want to make sure every time you get a sale, you're adding it to a CRM with all those kind of variables, like how much did they buy? Are they do they buy a lot of things? What kind of products are they looking for? All these different things. You get super minute with it. How long do they stay on the checkout page? And you can get like all these different things. If they're like a kind of aggressive buyer, did they do X, Y? All these things you can put into an AI model, and it's going to perfectly craft something that's going to be super sort of personal to the buyer. So again, really important. But this is again for if they didn't actually buy it. So if the order status is a fail, so nothing happened, you want to look for the contact. So this is going to see, are they a previous buyer? And if they are, it's going to be good because you'll get all of that information I said before. So you're going to get things like their order history and things like that. If they're not, it's fine. Just means you'll have less variables to work with when you're writing your AI kind of messages. So again, this is just an if variable contact exists. If it does, good job, you got a lot more variables to play with. But if it doesn't matter. Now, what you also want to look for is the phone number. So the phone number you'll probably get from the trigger, if not this, but I think it's a trigger, if they did put their phone number. So sometimes a buyer will put their phone number, and that obviously is really good because now we can do a WhatsApp flow on them as well as an email flow. So if the phone number exists, which is true, then you create both a WhatsApp a WhatsApp sort of SMS and an email. So this is kind of what a flow will look like. So you're an expert at e-commerce conversion. So you want to have all these different variables. So their first name, items in cart, total cart value, past orders. These are all going to be variables from different kind of nodes previously that I spoke about. Last order, discount sensitivity, and you can do way more. So you can do the kind of product they were looking for, all these different things. The more variables, the merrier, to be honest. And then, yeah, you can use this to analyze the tone. If they're a repeat buyer, use welcome back. All these different things with a warm tone. If they're new, you're going to be doing like maybe a more professional tone. Mention a specific item in their inventory. That's a very, very important thing to do. So you want to mention the specific item they're looking for, because it's going to trigger their brain and go, oh, that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? They're going to go, oh, this is actually a person who's trying to help me out. This is like the most important part. You want to mention the item that they were specifically trying to buy, as it kind of triggers that dopamine in their mind to go back and buy it. And then you want to address friction. You want to use kind of different tone if it's a more expensive cart. So if it's a more expensive cart, you want to things like emphasizing the return risks and stuff like that. This is all going to be relative to the actual business. Not all this is going to be the exact same to each e-commerce store. And then you want to obviously make it as a WhatsApp message that actually reads well, not like a blocky kind of email. And then you want to send the message, so you just want to get that Gemini output and then put it in SMS. And then what you can do is every 2 hours or however long, you can just keep sending a new AI email or a new AI WhatsApp message, and you can keep on checking if the order status has been confirmed. If it hasn't, you send another email, send another SMS, and then maybe a day later, if it's still not paid for, then you send another SMS. You keep repeating this as long as you want. You can even enter them into like an instantly campaign, where you kind of send them, a step, 4 to 5 step sequence. These are all things you can do. Again, the email is going to be quite similar to that. It's kind of just the same thing. You're getting all these key variables. The more variables, the merrier. As I said before, this is all going to be based on how many things you have in the CRM, how much the HTTP request gave you back, things like this. And then, you're going to do body structure. This is all stuff you can kind of do. Look, you can give them like unique discount codes. This is a really, really crazy way to increase your conversions, because if they've abandoned the cart, some money is better than no money. So if you can give them like a 10% extra code, the chance that they actually use that code and then go and buy what they had in the cart, even if you lose a fraction of the price, that's a sale that you wouldn't have made otherwise. So things like that is really important. And then obviously send the email, and then as I said before, you can keep on repeating this every hour or every day until hopefully the order actually does get a sale. So this is a super key and probably the highest ROI automation you can kind of implement into your e-commerce business. Again, if you want me to make this for your e-commerce business, something like this, or maybe a product recommender, or like an AI agent that sits on your Shopify, these are all things that are possible with AI and e-commerce. So email me below with any kind of requests, and I'd love to help you guys out. Again, I might have a flow like this, a finished kind of flow in the description, so you can come and download this JSON and then run it for yourself. I hope that was somewhat helpful. I know it's not completely finished, this flow, but I hope this kind of brought some ideas to your head about how this can actually be really beneficial for businesses in the future. So
Okay, so I hope you kind of learned something from that. I know it wasn't a specific walkthrough of how to do it with every single node, but I hope this kind of brought some light to something you can implement, and this kind of gave you some ideas. Obviously I don't have a Shopify store, so I couldn't go too in depth, but if you want me to make this for your e-commerce store, just comment below or email me. My email's in the description as well, and I'll be able to come in and help you out. As I said before, I'll do another video on some other Shopify things you can do, kind of working with the CRM, so you can send out product recommendations at specific times based on your buyers' habits and things like that. You can get super specific with it, and this is kind of the future of marketing with AI. So this is a really interesting kind of topic, and this is what a lot of companies are implementing to kind of maximize revenue with this kind of new AI rush. So if you learned something, I'd love you to leave a like and subscribe. But see you in the next video.